Okay, here we are getting ready to go to Arlington, Virginia for Expo East. Okay, so we made it. We're here. Got the rig there behind me. It's late, so we're waiting for the guys from Overland Bound to come over here and give us our tickets and get us in the parking area so that we can set our stuff up. Security guys are doing their job, working hard to keep the riffraff like us out, but that's okay. It'll be fine. And we're gonna hit the sack and we'll see you in the morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Hello. Hello.
Here's the exhibitor camping for Overland Bound. And right next to us is the group from Toyota Research and Development. Look what they brought with them. I gotta get a closer look at this. Let's go see what we can learn from the folks from Toyota and find out about that Trailander. So I'm here with Bob Kupina with Toyota. He's a senior project manager in product development. Bob, welcome.
Good morning. How are you, Joe?
Excellent. How are you?
Not so bad.
Good.
A little cloudy today, but otherwise feeling pretty good.
Bob, tell us how you got involved with off-roading.
Myself, just for lack of a better term, I've always been a car guy. I've been doing cars for 40 years. And I've worked in various aspects, either from dealerships and parts stores, all working with Toyota now for almost 25 years. So it's been a great experience. That's great.
That's great. What's your favorite trail experience?
Recently, we just went out to the FJ Summit, the experience that we had out in Ouray, Colorado. Ouray was very interesting, the FJ Summit, to really see how our users use their vehicles, for overlanding and trail expedition and trail riding. It's really great experience to see that and how the vehicles are used, and also to interact with the customers. That was something we really were looking forward to. Good. From an R&D perspective, to get first-hand experience and understanding from the customers.
It's helpful, I'm sure, to you to take back those experiences to R&D.
Yeah, it is. And then what we try to do as well is to share that experience, share that information with our engineers when we're looking at development, to become more involved and more engaged and more passionate with the vehicles.
Tell me about your personal rig.
Personal rig, well, I've got a couple of vehicles. Kind of a daily driver though is a 2014 RAV4, but I also have a 2017 Tacoma SR5 Access cab. It's a 4-cylinder, which is a little unique, but I've converted to basically a TRD Pro. Added the Pro suspension, the skid plates and such, so it's a good vehicle. I like it a lot. My son uses it quite a bit to travel out west, hauls dirt bike and things. But it's a good vehicle. Enjoy it. It gets decent mileage and such. So.
When you were building it out, what mistakes or do-overs did you have?
Mistakes and do-overs. Some of the things is a lot of the work I did at home, so it'd be helpful to have some better equipment or maybe lifts and things like that. But otherwise, using the TRD parts that we have made it quite simple. Just kind of a bolt-on and simple replacement parts. So most of the stuff is pretty straightforward. 4Runners,
particularly the Gen 5s.
Okay.
What do you think are its strengths? What do you think is its weaknesses?
I've had a couple of them. I've had a 2011, a 2015 Trail. What I really like about the 4Runner is especially the Trail Edition, still manual control for 4-wheel drive. Again, I put Pro suspension on that vehicle before we offered the off-road edition and such, so it's a great, very capable vehicle. Again, every vehicle has its limits. And I've tested those limits on that vehicle as well, on simple things, and as well as a little bit more hardcore and off-road and such. But again, some of the weaknesses I think is just the vehicle's very capable and durable, but it's I think the weakness comes more from the driver, right? It's
Okay.
kind of pilot error and such. So
Right.
it's something I don't think I can blame the vehicle for. It's probably something from my own inputs.
Good
So,
point. Personally, I'm not new to four-wheel driving. I've been doing it since before it was called overlanding. When I got this new 4Runner, I have a 2018.
Right.
I loved the crawl control
Yeah.
because I got stuck in the mud with my wife out in the woods,
Mhm.
and I knew that if I spun my tires on my traction boards, I was just going to burn up my boards.
Yep.
Put it in crawl control on slow and leave it alone.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes, it sounds like it's going to fall apart,
Sure.
but it doesn't, and it backed right up the traction board. It didn't spin the tire once. It's amazing what the technology can do.
Yeah,
I don't even think a human being could control it.
My first experience with the traction control was actually at one of our facilities in Japan, Tahara manufacturing plant. We have an off-road course there, and we had one of our evaluation engineers took me in a Tundra as well as a Land Cruiser in Japan, and it's the first time to experience that crawl control. You're right. It sounds like it's going to fall apart, but the control that it has, and basically all you are required to do is steer the vehicle.
Right.
Don't brake, don't accelerate, just let the vehicle do itself, and
Yep.
then just steer it. It was
will
amazing.
do a better job
Yeah.
than we can, that's
It
for
works
sure.
very, very well.
Recoveries. Snatch or winch?
Winch.
Okay.
Mainly I think, both of them have their challenges as well, but I think a winch, and now with some of the new cables, I forget what they're called, but they're more of like Kevlar or nylon based
Yeah.
cables. It makes it a lot easier, a lot safer, because if they do break, there's not a whole lot of mass flying at you. Main thing is to always be safe when doing that, whether it's snatch or winch. You don't want to be in the way of the cable when it does snap.
Right.
So stand off to the side, but the new cables make it a lot easier, a little bit easier to get the vehicle hooked up and recovered.
Let's talk about repairs on the road.
Okay.
What parts or tools do you carry that most people don't?
I think most people should be carrying at least a basic tool set, right? Or some lug wrench and jack and such. We see here we have a high lift jack on the trailer, but just a basic tool set's always handy. But I find zip ties seem to be about the most useful tool I have. Throughout my career with Toyota, I've been in a number of different positions and evaluations and long drives and such, that having an assortment of zip ties in your backpack weighs virtually nothing.
Right.
No issues with the airport security, and they can pretty much repair everything. That and
It's like the new duct tape.
yeah, it is a new duct tape. So
That's great.
yeah.
Tell me about trailers. Do you have one?
Personally, currently I do not, but I had a few on my dirt bikes and things. My son and I
Okay.
dirt bike, again up north in northern Michigan, and
Tell us about this.
this was kind of a unique experience. We've seen these before. I mean, you've seen people modify various type of pickup truck beds for trailers and such.
Sure.
But we thought it was kind of a neat team building experience for our engineers. So again, trying to become more immersed in what our vehicles are and looking at what the capability is and seeing what was out there as well. Now with the explosion of overlanding, I've been out to some trade shows as well in the last couple of years and see that these trailers are very unique and that they're building them to be kind of self-contained housing units, right? They've got a
Right.
kitchen or toilet facilities and things like that, and sleeping facilities. So it's like you have all this capability, but I did see something like this at Overland West back in May. And we were just talking amongst ourselves within our office, saying like, that's something we could try. Let's see what we can do. So we have access to some surrogate vehicles that we could use, and so we figured just kind of a fun project for our engineers to get involved with. We thought we'd put them together. So
when is this product going to hit the market?
oh well, that unfortunately I can't share that with you. I think right now I don't know if that's really the intention so much as it's
Right.
more of a kind of a proof of concept, like something we can do. Show our capabilities.
What did you do engineering-wise that is a little different from what you typically see when people chop
Well, I
a
think
truck?
the benefit that I have, as well as our engineers have, is that because this is basically a Tacoma bed, so that's a 2020 Tacoma Pro. This I believe was off of a 16 or 17 Tacoma, access cab or crew cab. Basically, we cut the frame just forward of where the bed ends,
Okay.
and from that point on, we looked at the frame, we looked at the structure of the frame, what type of material would be necessary. As I mentioned, though, we have access to all the drawings, so it made it a little bit more simple. But what we really wanted to focus on with the team was not just to make a simple trailer and bolt it together, but to make sure that everything was flowing. So the top of the deck surface here lines up with the top of the deck there.
Right.
The axle, what's usually common when you see in these home-built trailers is just to keep the differential. Unfortunately for us, I didn't want to do that because the leaf spring mount is forward of the wheel, so it was forward of the cut point. So
I see.
what I looked was aftermarket axles and Timbrin axles, what is what I found online.
Okay.
This seemed to be the answer to my challenge. And,
Great.
So basically we lined those up, but the axle center is the same as what it would have been on the trailer originally, as well as the height of the wheel. The axle center line off the ground is the same. The clearance between the top of the wheel and the fender is the same. So it's really a cohesive package.
Sounds like it was
went
designed by
pretty well.
engineers.
Yeah, it was. A little bit, probably too much time involved, but the result ended up pretty well. The second one went together
It's
much
cool.
quicker.
It's really cool.
Well, thank you.
What did you do with the suspension?
So again, the suspension is self-contained within the Timbrin axles. The
Oh,
Timbrin
okay.
axle is kind of like a scissor, and
Okay.
has a kind of a rubber pillow block inside that acts as a suspension. So the axles themselves are rated for about 3,500 pounds.
Nice.
And this trailer right now weighs just under 1,100 pounds. Either one of them. That's empty weight. So it's gives us a little bit more capacity as well. So we have up to about 2,400 pounds we could add to the vehicle as well if we wanted to.
We could almost get my wife's luggage in there.
It barely fits my luggage. So, but no, it's been really neat. Again, it's kind of a proof of concept. If you notice, the racks that these are aftermarket racks. It's a small company in Southern California, but it's the same rack on the bed here on the trailer as well as it is on the vehicle itself. So
Very cool.
we could interchange parts if we wanted to, but I mean, it kind of shows the flexibility that if a person had a Tacoma and wanted to, if you could swap these parts from your trailer to your Tacoma if you didn't want to take the trailer or vice versa. It gives a bit more flexibility, and if you don't want to haul around all that equipment on your daily commute,
Right.
put it on the trailer and tuck that in your backyard somewhere.
That's right. And if you break your truck on the road, you have spare parts so your wife won't find out.
Correct. You have an extra spare tire underneath.
That's right. That's right. Bob, thank you so much. I
No
appreciate
problem,
your
Joe.
time.
Appreciate
You have
it.
a great show.
Thank you.
Hey folks, thanks for watching this first of 3 videos from Overland Expo East 2019. If you liked the video, if you found it something different, informative, and interesting, please click on the subscribe button that should show up right, I think, there. But click on the subscribe button and join our family. We'd love to have you. You can also find us on Facebook at Gen5Runner. That's GEN, the number 5, and RUNNER. We'd love to see you there. We have some contests coming up here shortly. You could win a brand new winch, for example. So if you're interested, please look at our Facebook page and follow there so that you can see that. And again, click subscribe. We really appreciate having you here. Thanks.